I would like to invite our second student speaker to the podium. Brent Kehoe is a graduate of William Tennant High School. Today, Brent will graduate with a degree in collision repair. Brent, please join me up at the podium.
Good afternoon to all in attendance. I would like to welcome President Rivera, the Board of Trustees, all faculty and staff, especially my instructor, Mr. Weiler, and my academic coach, Mrs. Williams, for nominating me to speak today, as well as all my fellow graduates and our guests. The goal is not to be better than anyone else, but rather be better than you were yesterday. As a child, this quote would have never made sense to me. My only goals were to be better than my peers, and to be the center of attention at all costs. Growing up as a fatherless child, I rarely received the attention I sought. Between a single mother working multiple jobs to provide for me and grandparents who already had the satisfaction of seeing their kids starting to follow their dreams, there that left me. With the constant attention seeking, trouble always seemed to find me. Whether it be detentions or suspensions, in the principal's office is probably where you would find me. I was very troubled in elementary and middle school, and really I was just trying to make the teacher's job a living hell and get all the other kids to laugh with me. It all changed one night when my grandma came home after drinking with her coworkers at the bar. When she arrived back home, I was downstairs playing video games, and she went upstairs and not too much longer fell down all those stairs she just had gone up, landing right on her head. I had no clue what to do. I started screaming upstairs to my mom and grandpa and panicked and called 911 right away. When we arrived at the hospital, we were informed that she would need emergency brain surgery and that the possibility of her surviving was very little. We were then informed later on that if I had waited any longer to call an ambulance, she would have been dead on the spot. Although she survived, it wasn't an easy battle for her or anyone. I was taken home and couldn't even look at those stairs. It took about 5 minutes for me to even approach them. It was like I was climbing Mount Everest, seeming nearly impossible with such trauma. From that night on, my act started to change and had a rude awakening to life itself. Even with such trauma that had happened, I genuinely thought it was impossible to get any worse. Well, I was wrong. During my grandma's rehabilitation period, I was told that my Uncle Ronnie committed suicide. You see, when you're a kid, you always look for role models to look up to and follow. Especially not having a father in my life, I always look for people to fill that void, and my uncle was definitely one of those people. Looking back on all that has happened, I would be lying if I didn't tell you all the trauma shaped the way I would be today. Over time, I started to learn it would always get better, because it's how you go about being challenged by such abrupt trauma and subtle changes. If you go about it thinking negative thoughts constantly, there's nothing positive to come from it. But if you positively get over that change, then nothing bad can come from it, and you learn how to deal with such things. It's something that happens in your everyday life. You fail, and you fail, and you fail. If you just give up, it won't change. But if you change what you're doing and overcome such things, a better result happens. Throughout high school, I always kept positive in my thinking and in my actions, but I still was a kid that had no clue what I wanted to do with my life. Toward the middle of my senior year, my counselor straight up told me that I needed to start applying places and figure out what I wanted to do with my life. Ironically, the next day I got into a car accident. And from that day on, I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to be able to fix cars that were in an accident just like I was. But the love for cars didn't come overnight. I've always loved the car scene ever since I was really young, and my grandma would put cars on the TV, which to this day is still a favorite movie of mine. Or on the weekends, sometimes my mom would take me to car shows where I fell in love with the smell of gasoline. When I was sure what I wanted to do, my counselor helped me look for places, and Stevens was a no-brainer. With national acknowledgments for the school and still being affordable for me, it seemed too good to pass up. While being here, I met forever friends and great instructors. Without them, I wouldn't have grown and learned so much about my field. While all that is great, I'm leaving here with core memories, and memories mean everything to me. It's something you just can't put a price on. So thank you for all who have contributed to them. I relate to the quote I stated in the beginning so much because as humans, we all share the same common goal. Everyone's goal day by day is to do better than they did the day before. Yet with such common goals as life, as a society, we sometimes fail to encourage others to do better. This speech isn't meant to change the society, but simply encourage others to be human. We make mistakes, we aren't perfect. That person next to you today, you have no clue the battle they had to go through to become the person they are. So instead of judging at first sight, can't we just lift one another up and all be better? Fellow graduates, I hope you all can leave here today and achieve great accomplishments and show your loved ones all you have learned. And as a class, I hope we can all be the best versions of ourselves and exceed even our own expectations. Always be yourself. Thank you.